A misnomer is that I go grocery shopping and then I'm hoping those paychecks come through throughout the month, and that's not how I do it. There's 3 systems I use to kind of get the money I need at the beginning of the month and spend it, being able to have a month ahead. So if something happens in the middle of the month, you have a little bit more space to adjust for the following month instead of being in active crisis and trying to figure everything out at once. The question of the day is how I got to the point of once a month grocery shopping. So I do a lot of once a month shopping, grocery hauls on my channel, and we are a large family of 9. So honestly, that got into a system that just helps me stay out of the store. Sometimes I'm in a season of pregnancy, or hubby's off work, or I'm postpartum, and I don't want to be dragging all of the kids on top of me going to the store. And also, because it's winter, we try not to navigate to the store too much because sickness goes around. I'll share 3 ways that I got to the point where I could once a month grocery shopping. The first one is a low spend month or 2 to get that money to start a fresh month with the money already in hand. Coming into January, I know a lot of people do a low spend just because of the holidays and kind of recouping some of that. Another way you can do, which I'm actually going into because fall, back to school, holidays kind of creep up on you, so I'm actually in the same boat. So I'm spending a low spend January and February to help me reload, so I'm back to once a month shopping in the spring, so I can go to the store with all of my grocery money for the month, and if I spend it all or if I spend most of it, I have it there and I'm not putting things on credit hoping those paychecks come through. So having a low spend or a no spend one month and eating from the pantry, hopefully your pantry is stocked enough that you could do that, and then save that money so you start the next month fresh. And as those paychecks come in throughout the month, I just set my grocery money aside. So at the beginning, or really it's usually the last week of the month, I'll go grocery shopping again. A second way we do it, which is way we've done it a lot of times in years past about buying our bulk meat, is that when tax season comes, we use that money for a bulk meat purchase, or I use it to stock my grocery money for the following month so I can get back into the system. So tax season is a great way to use that money wisely or to just get a little bit of ahead. And then the third way is having that third paycheck month, not using it as you normally would as a paycheck, kind of setting that grocery money aside and then maybe doing a low spend for 2 weeks to gather more money so you can kickstart the following month of that third paycheck month. That happens twice a year, so if you get behind or maybe you need to bulk purchase, you can also use that third paycheck to do that also. There is a variety of reasons why I started doing the once a month shopping. It comes from being pregnant for so many years. It comes from being 2020. We were a family of 7 during 2020, and going to the grocery store and seeing the shelves very cleared out is kind of a trigger a little bit when you have so many mouths to feed. So that really kick-started. We had already bought bulk meat and purchased some, but we would get a lot of meat from the grocery store still. I didn't really take into account a garden as like a real source of food for our family. So that has changed, but a garden takes time and energy. And for us, just our house is in a weird spot where it's a struggle a little bit to have a garden. But being able to stock up food and eat from our pantry more so than ever before really was a turning point for me in 2020. And then being postpartum and maybe having a job loss or a health crisis or something also leads into having food in the pantry and being able to have a month ahead. So if something happens in the middle of the month, you have a little bit more space to adjust for the following month instead of being in active crisis and trying to figure everything out at once. If there's extra, I spend it. If I have to pull from a category to go to the store for maybe a holiday I didn't do, or we overspent in a different category. So that's the short answer of how and why I once a month grocery shopping, and some ideas if you want to try it in 2026 or you wanted to get ahead in your pantry. That is a good way to do it, is getting one. You don't even have to once a month grocery shop, but just the fact of being 1 month ahead in your grocery money, because most of us, that's our biggest bill or our second or third biggest bill, and a very variable expense that we can adjust if needed. If there's any additional questions you have about once a month grocery shopping, you can leave them below or leave them on any one of my grocery shopping trips from this year or going into 2026.